Hey everybody, welcome to Fab Fit Friday. It's been a really fun week. I spent all last weekend teaching classes and I did alterations on Saturday and Sunday, and then on Monday, on Columbus Day, I taught my raglan sleeve top, which was really fun. Hi Janie, welcome. So I thought what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you my progress on my new jean pattern I'm working on. And I took a little sidebar because I wanted to check the fit of, I showed how to, sorry, I'm fixing my camera. All right. Okay. All right, I'm sorry. I made a muslin of the one that I drafted during Fab Fit Friday last week, and then I thought to myself, I'm going to try creating the same pattern from my salvage denim jean pattern, because the salvage denim jean pattern has a straight side seam already. So I did that, and I'm going to show you the difference between the one I drafted last week from my regular non-stretch jean sloper, and then the one I made from my straight side seam salvage denim jeans. And I'm kind of surprised, but I think the one that I drafted last week is better. So that's what we're going to do today. But before we do that, I'm going to show you the fabrics I got from Mart Fabrics. I had gotten them to use during my raglan sleeve top class on Monday, but they didn't come until, I think, Wednesday. So basically, that's what I'm going to do today. Okay, I don't know what's happening there. All right, I'm sorry. All right, so let me switch my view. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you my fabrics that I got from Mart Fabric. Hi, Glenda from Minnesota. Hi, Mary. Oh, Mary was working on jeans, and all she has left to do is rivets and buttonholes. Hi, Diane and Diane. Hi, Diane and Diane. All right, so let's do my Mart Fabric haul first. I want to show you what I picked out here. I'm going to use my seam ripper. I was going to do a separate video on this, but then I thought to myself, I have way too much stuff to do. Uh-oh, can you see the red? See the red right there? Woo-woo! Hi, Judy. Welcome. I'm showing the fabrics I got from Mart Fabric. Ooh. Oh my gosh, I am so excited. All right, let's look at these. Now, part of it that's not going to be super exciting is the fact that they're all rib knits. And basically, I went through my long sleeve top wardrobe for the fall and winter, and almost all of the raglan sleeve tops that I made last year have been worn to death, and they're coming apart in places where I'm just not going to take the time to fix them. My classic navy and gray sleeved raglan, which was my favorite, the neckband's falling apart and it's kind of a mess. So I ordered these fabrics from Mart Fabric, and you can see there is in fact red. Okay, this red is a Model Lycra sweater rib knit, and it's really soft and comfortable. Okay, and it's got lots of stretch. Let me just, Diane says, be still my heart, I see the red. Yeah, isn't that nice? I'm going to make a red one. Hi Ingrid, welcome from Illinois. Oh, this is Rita's sister. Oh, well, hi Ingrid. I haven't seen Rita lately. I hope she's well. All right, so we have red, And then we have this blue, and these two, I believe, are from the same manufacturer. They're both Model knits, and they're both super stretchy and super soft. And then I think, yeah, these two are the same manufacturer. The ribbing is exactly the same. Let me show you. You can see. Let me make it a little brighter so you can see. I think I'm going to pair, hold on. Oops, sorry. I just want to show you the wider rib knit. So this is a little bit wider of a rib knit. And then, is this one? This one might be the same as well. It's a little less wide, but I think it's the same. This is rayon, not Model. But it may be from the same designer. And then these two, which now we're moving into my favorite colors here. I got black and another blue. Okay, so I have all of these colors, and I plan on making, just so you all know, I'm going to make a red that's the body of the raglan, that I'm going to make another red one where the sleeves are red. And, you know, I'll pair them. I do like this and this together, so I think this and this is going to be one of them. And then maybe I'll make red sleeves on, I don't know, maybe a darker one, like this and this maybe. But anyway, so, oh, Mary says that one of them looks like a purple lilac. They're all blue, blue. So this is two different shades of blue. This one does look lilac-y on my video, but in person, it's more of a blue. I think it's my, wait a minute, let me shut this off. All right, I shut that light off, but it still does look purpley, but it's really not. It's almost like a steel blue color. It says it's dark imperial blue, but I do see it looks lilac on the screen. All right, so I am going to have my husband figure out what is going on with my audio. I really apologize. I have my audio up all the way. Different monitors. You mean my monitor? Maybe a different monitor? I don't know. Here's my problem with my audio. When I try to use my Pro audio, it comes out staticky when I'm streaming. And then when I'm using my computer audio, sometimes it's soft. So I'm going to try to talk really loud, and then I'm going to have my husband troubleshoot this for me so I can figure out what's happening. Oh, PG says it looks purple on her screen. Well, you know why it looks purple on your screen is because I think the lighting in my room is making the color different. Because the problem is my lights, so see, I have these big lights. I have these big lights. See them right there? You can see it in the upper corner there. Okay, so those are color matched to be like natural light. But then my windows are letting blue light in from the outside, so I think my lighting temperature is screwed up. That's why it looks different colors. Alright, so Mary just turned up her speakers to hear, and Janie and Diane said it sounds fine. I know, but I've gotten a lot of complaints about my audio, so I am going to try to figure it out. So anyway, alright, this is my fabric haul. All of these are going in the wash, and I'm going to start sewing. And I will have a whole bunch of nice new knit tops for winter. So that's number one. Number two, if you remember, I made the pattern last week. And what I want to do here is I'm going to show you on my phone. I took front, back, and side views of the muslin that I drafted during Fab Fit Friday last week. And I think you can see that it's really, really close. And I think what's happening is I need to lift up the back just a little bit So see how there's some diagonal wrinkles on the side view of my butt there? I think if I pick that up by pleating across the back of my butt, I'll be able to pick that up, and then I might need to then scoot back down to maintain the length of the actual crotch. But this fits really comfortably. Whoops. And you can see from the back, I think I just need a little bit more room on the inseam and maybe my crotch wedges. So that's what I made last week with you guys. Let me just stop and say hi, Carol and Jerry and Netwear. Welcome, ladies. Happy Friday. So I am happy with this, you know, and then also in the front, I have a little extra fabric in the front crotch, so I'm going to get rid of that. Now, after I did this muslin, I decided to test my my Japanese denim or my salvage denim jean pattern, because it has straight side seams, you know, straight out of the gate. So really all I had to do was get rid of the side seam allowances and tape them together and then cut the leg in half. So I tried that, and I just want to show you what that one looked like. I'm going to show you this picture first. Now, this is a soft, non-stretch black denim that I have. This is how the back looked when I made it up the first time. And I think that this looks very, very similar, or fits very similarly to the muslin one. It's just because now it's a different fabric, it looks different. So I was trying to just play with seeing what to do about the crotch, and I thought, ooh, let me try scooping a little bit to see if that fixes it. And I can show you here that scooping, and when I say I scooped, I only scooped a 1/4 inch, so a very, very little bit, and you can see it made it worse. So this is what it looked like. Oops, sorry. So this is what it looked like when I scooped it. It actually made it, I think, more wrinkly than the first one, and it actually looks like it's grabbing my butt more. So then I took out the scoop, and I actually let the inseam out a little bit, and I think that improved it. So if you look at these 3 pictures, here's the original, and then here is when I actually let it out a little bit. So I'm playing with, you know, fine-tuning the fit, and I think letting it out really didn't help either. It looks better up until the bottom of my butt, but my legs are still not great. So I think that the original one that I had is possibly the best. And I think, like I said, I think the white muslin version and this version fit very similarly. Although I will tell you that I fitted this leg really snug. And here you can see it from the side. Okay, so what I'm showing you this is, you can see that it's pulling through my legs. So I think the issue is the front crotch point and maybe the front inseam need to be extended slightly to let all of that relax. Whoops. And I fitted it to death. Like, I took in the inseams, so there isn't even room now for me to do those darts on the leg. So I guess I'm showing you all of this so you can see what I've been fussing around with all week. And I think at the end of the day, I'm going to just go with the one that I drafted last week. So just to put a final, oops, let me just make this a little bit darker. Okay, so just to put a final on it, I just want to show you this. See that? This is my Japanese denim jean pattern. Just, you know, I taped it, I made a copy on the computer and then I just printed it out. So this is the Japanese denim version, and this was the one I drafted last week. And I'm just going to lay them on top of each other here. And it's really amazing to me how different they are. So if I just lay them here, you can see that they're no way similar. Like, I can't really even compare. The salvage denim pattern is a shorter rise. Okay, so Mary says, do you have full calves that aren't letting the leg hang right? No, I don't. That's not my issue. I think what's happening is, I think the front crotch is pulling through, and it's pulling it forward and up a little bit, because my front curve is slightly higher than my back curve, and I think what's happening is it's pulling diagonally up. Okay, so I feel like, Joe, you need more fabric in the back and then use the darting. Yeah, I think, well, I mean, you can see here, well, these are actually the same at the, oh, they're actually the same here. Like, the width of them are the same. It may just be the fact that my inseam is longer on the one I drafted, so it's a little bit lower on the leg, and maybe it's a little bit narrower there. I think this the horizontal seam was a little bit too high on the black ones as well. But anyway, the bottom line is, I am going to I think I'm going to stick with this one, and I think I just need a little bit more room or let me just look at this one more time here. All right, so let's look at this together one more time. So I think what I'm going to do here is, see, because you can see here, the calf is not stopping the fabric from falling. I think what's happening is this fabric right here needs to go up. Okay, so I think that needs to go up. And then in here, if I pick up that fabric, if I pick it up and drop the curve, that might fix it. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to, and of course, because this is no side seam, oh, Ingrid doesn't know how the word Joe got there. Well, that's all right. I understand what you mean. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. PG can hear me fine with her headphones. All right, so I'm just not sure what's going on with my audio, but I am going to have my husband triage it. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I am going to draw a line all the way across. Okay, because if I want to pinch this out here, I need to bring it all the way over to here. Oh, let me use the pattern that I actually added. Let me use this pattern right here. This is my final copy. Let me, sorry, all right, so let me I'm going to draw a line from here. Just going to go straight across like this. All right, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pleat out 3/4 of an inch at the back. Okay, so I'm going to take out that green wedge that I just drew. Oh, hi Kay, welcome. PG wants to know if I get frustrated fitting pants. I will tell you that I am always, whenever I start a new pattern, I don't start with my personal pattern. So like I'm not using the pattern that I fit myself before. I'm using the one that I perfected and graded. So this is not my personal pattern. This is just the size I start with. So because I don't want to make my personal pattern the base pattern for a pattern I'm going to grade, if that makes any sense. So I'm probably going to use a pattern, like I have a copy of this that I'm going to, if I can fix it, I'm going to use the one that I'm not trying to perfect for my shape to grade and make the sizes, because I don't want to put my personal fit on my master pattern that I then grade, because it'll skew it too far towards my shape and away from other people's shape. I try to make a balanced pattern that is a good starting spot for as many people as it can be, and then, you know, fitting it to myself helps me fit it to other people. Oh, PG says, if you don't have it down by now, there's no hope for me to ever conquer it. Well, that's a very good point. If I had a side seam, this would be a whole different fitting issue. I'm trying to now work with a pattern that doesn't have a side seam, so that causes a whole nother issue. So I am going to cut this. Like this. And I'm going to slide this down the 3/4 of an inch. Like that. And then I'm going to tape it. I mean, and quite honestly, the other thing that's going on in my head is I'm always looking to see if I can figure out an easier way to fit something. So I'll switch my methods. There's so many different ways to fit a pants pattern that if I think I can figure it out easier, switching tactics, I will. So you know, this particular pattern doesn't fit right and needs some work because there's no side seam. And actually, I'm going to be sending it to a couple people to pattern test for me. And if it's too hard for them to work with it before I release it, I think I'm going to put the side seam back. So part of my process in working with this is to also decide whether or not I want to have no side seam. All right, so I took that up 3/4 of an inch. But I know this muslin fit perfectly lengthwise before I did that. So I'm going to have to lengthen I'm going to have to lower this to maintain that 3/4 of an inch. And 3/4 of an inch is a lot to shorten the inseam. So what I'm going to do is I am going to mark from here. So this is my crotch level right here. My crotch level. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to measure 3/4 of an inch below that, like that, and then I'm going to cut this off and slide it down. And the reason why I'm cutting it off and sliding it down versus scooping is because I don't want to lose any of my horizontal space. So just for example, if I scoop down to the 3/4 inch, let me just show you what happens. That puts me right here. You can see that now I would lose that much crotch length. So that's why I'm pushing it down. Okay, so Judy says, I find that designers' patterns are made to flatter and fit the designer. If they are skinny, not likely to look good on me. It's very hard as a pattern designer not to make, you obviously want to make a garment that's going to look good on you. And I really try to be more inclusive by making different crotch shapes. So for example, my Happy Pants has 3 different crotch shapes to fit 3 different fullnesses of your butt. And I really try not to do that, but it is hard not to. Oops. All right, so I'm gonna cut this right here, and I'm just gonna slide it down that 3/4 of an inch like this. Okay, so you see what I did? It was here. Now I'm sliding it down to here. And the interesting thing is, sliding it like that is going to result in a very minimal truing up situation. What do I do with my tape? Oh. Okay. I mean, and of course, not every pattern is going to look nice on every shape either. I mean, that's just, you know, certain styles look better on certain shapes. Okay. All right, so you can see here, I'm going to put a sticky note or something. Can I find a sticky note? Sticky notes. My daughter is the queen of sticky notes. I'm just going to put a sticky note here. Oh, it's white. So you can see. All right, so really, right here, you can see that that really resulted in almost nothing for a true up. Okay, so all I have to do is just smooth that back out. So I've lowered that 3/4 of an inch, which means this fabric right here in the original crotch position, that was below my crotch point. Now you can see my new crotch point is here. Now that fabric is above my crotch point. So I've picked up 3/4 of an inch of fabric, which I think will smooth out those wrinkles that we saw on the back leg. So that's how I'm going to fix that. And down here, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add that fabric. I can just do it with one sticky note here. I'm just going to true this up. I'm just going to just add that little bit in here, like this. All right. Okay. All right. Okay, so that's how I'm going to true that up. All right, so that takes care of that. And then in the front, just cut off the extra. Okay. Okay, and then in the front, where I had extra, a little bit of extra fabric, let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so see in the front, I just feel like I have this extra fold of fabric. I'm just going to get rid of that. And the way I'm going to get rid of that is, that's like right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw myself a guideline like this. I'm going to make a second one right here. This one, I'll use that guideline. So I am going to cut this, not through the inseam, but to the inseam out there, and I'm also going to cut this. Okay, so what this allows me to do is it allows me to move this in just a little bit, and I'm only going to move it in like 3/8 of an inch. So I just want to get rid of that little bit of fabric there. Okay. Alright, so I did that. And then this, I'm just going to, I don't want to take off up at the top because that fit me. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to sort of angle this so I can put it back very close to the original at the waist. Alright, so, and it's going to make a little space there. That's okay. Alright, so I've got that like that. I'm just going to take that back. And then I think I'm going to straighten it out. I just want this little bit right here to be, I don't want it to come back at me. So this is going to be my new, just doing a 1/2 inch there. Alright, so that's going to be my new front. Then I really think it's my front that's pulling the fabric on my back leg through to the front. So I am just going to add a very little bit right here. Just a little bit. So I'm just going to come out a 1/4, and I'm just going to blend that right back in. Oh, let me see, like right here. Okay, so those are the changes I am going to make to this pattern. And I'm not going to work with the Salvage Denim jean version anymore. I'm going to work with this one. I just wanted to try it to see. Okay, so see, I'm just adding this little bit, and you'd be surprised if you think about what your circumference is of your leg. Okay, so my leg is 25 inches. A 1/4 doesn't seem like it's a big change, but what I'm discovering is little changes can make a big difference. So that's where I am now. And you know how I like to check to see how the transition from back to front or front to back crotch is? Because this has no side seam, I can fold it in half this way, and I can check that. So I'm just going to put together my, I'm going to start at the bottom here, and I'm just going to walk those edges up. I'm just walking them along, and then when I get here, okay, you can see that the transition from front to back is pretty good. It's nice and smooth. So I don't have to worry about changing that. It doesn't dip, like it doesn't peak up or anything, so my transition is nice. So that's what I'm doing in terms of adjusting the fit of this. I'm going to sew up a black denim version and try that, and I will see how that looks. Now, let me see, what time is it? Alright, so the other thing I want to do today is I want to make the pieces for the front pocket so I'm going to get those jeans so I can show you what it looks like inside the original jeans. Alright, so let's turn these inside out so we can see what the pocket bags look like. Now, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do my favorite, oh, hi CK, welcome. It's okay that you're late. Alright, so what I want to do is I want to show you here. Okay, so these little pocket bags sew into the zipper, and then they just end approximately where the side seams would be. So let's design all the shapes, and then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to design the front fly pieces. And just fold it like this. And let's use a different color. I'm going to use red. Okay, so this is going to be my front pocket opening. Okay, so I've already decided that. And this red line is where the side seam of the front was. So I think I'm going to use that. Okay, and then I think I'm just going to go straight across, maybe to here. So it's maybe, I'm thinking something like that will be the shape of my pocket. Now the first thing I have to do here is I need to add my zipper seam allowance in there. Let me just make this even. Okay, so I need to add my zipper seam allowance, so I'm going to put a piece of paper here. So this is going to be a separate fly pieces, okay? Not a cut-on fly. Alright, so here's, okay, so this is my stitching line. This green line. This is my stitching line right here. And so I need to add, we need the seam allowance for there, then we also need to add on top of that for the zipper. So I'm going to bring this down to 3/8 first of all. I left it a 1/2 inch for purposes of testing fitting, but I'm going to make it 3/8 now. I'm sorry, 3/8. Okay. So this is now going to be a 3/8 inch, let me just cut it off so it looks neat. So there's my seam allowance for the front, is right there. Sorry. Now I'm going to add the paper back in to add the zipper seam allowance so it's not messy. Hold on. Okay, so now we're going to add a 3/8 inch zipper seam allowance to that. Now remember, this part of the fly is really short because we also have the yoke that the zipper is going to go through the yoke as well. So there's my zipper seam allowance. I might, you know, I think I'm going to bring it up an extra 1/2 inch. I'm going to end it here. Okay, so let me cut this off. Alright, so that's going to be, the lower section of my fly is right there. Then we have okay, so this is the waistband right here. So the first thing I'm going to do is trim that down to 3/8. And then I'm going to add the zipper seam allowance onto that as well. Let's just use, let me just take this. Okay, so basically what I'm doing is I'm adding the front fly seam allowance that we need. So we're going to add 3/8 of an inch here. Okay. Okay. All right, so now our front waist and our you know, the leg part are in agreement. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create my pocket pieces. So let me use, I'm just going to use, this is an old pattern. I'm going to just, let me use green here. All right, so this is going to be my front pocket opening. Just highlighting it in green so you can see. So we need to make a, oh, good evening, Mrs. D. Welcome. I'm going to use the green to show you the denim facing. So we're going to have that overlap just a little bit here. And then basically I'm going to come down and I'm just going to create a little bit of an overlap. And then we'll have it come straight like this. So that's going to be my denim facing for the front pocket opening. And then I also need to add a little seam allowance for the front pocket opening right here. So now we'll trace the pieces and then they'll be more clear. So the first thing I'm going to trace is I am going to trace the entire pocket bag that's underneath the you know, the back of the pocket. So it's going to be here, it's going to be here, and it's going to go right along the zipper seam allowance and right across the top. So this is not very exciting, it's just a rectangle. Okay, but this is going to be the pocket bag. Pocket bag cut 2. Okay, then I'm going to trace the front pocket facing that's going to finish that little pocket, and I'll do that one in green. Okay, so that piece is going to be the same side, bottom, up here, and then it's going to come here and it's going to go along the zipper seam. It's going to go along that front pocket seam allowance I dashed in, like this. Okay, so that's going to be the front pocket facing. I need to cut 2 of these. All right, and so then the last piece we need is the fabric facing. So let me get a piece of paper over here. I'm just recycling these bits of paper here. All right, so now this is going to be just the fabric facing. Okay, so it's going to look something like that. Whoops. Okay, so this is the fabric facing. Okay, so then I'm just going to cut these out so I can show you how they go together. So we've got this piece. So something like this. Okay, and that piece is going to go right onto here, like this, so that'll protect the lining from the pocket bag. So there's our pocket bag. And then this other piece is going to finish the front pocket opening. So these pieces get sewn together, and I think what we should do is put a, let's have a, oops, let me just turn it this way. All right, so that's 10.5 inches, so halfway will be 5 3/4 is right here. Well, I guess it really doesn't matter. We're going to put it right there. So I'm just going to make like a little guide, and I'm going to transfer that onto, so I know how to put them all together. And then this one. Alright, so now at least I know how to line them all back up. Okay, CK wants to know if I use a software program to design. I could. I have a grading software that I can also design my patterns in, but I prefer to do it longhand, I'll be honest. I have a printer that's right around the corner from my house, and I can bring in my neat copy and they'll scan it in, and then I bring it into Illustrator and I draw it in there so it looks, you know, so it's a neat vector shapes. And then I take the master from Illustrator and I bring it back into my grading software to grade. So I really do enjoy playing with, you know, just doing it longhand. But I mean, I could do it, and sometimes I do some things on the computer, but I enjoy playing with the shapes. Alright, so now we've got our pocket here. So this will fit right on the leg to finish the front pocket opening. Okay. Okay. All right, so let me just show you. So then this is going to go here first, and the first step here is going to be to sew that and flip it to the wrong side, and obviously we have to cut this off to make the opening, so let me do that. Okay, so see, this is now a front pocket opening, so this would go here. So the first step is you're going to sew around the front pocket opening, then you're going to flip it to the wrong side, so it's now a finished edge. So that's how those pieces work. This one gets top stitched right there, and then it will be behind here to protect the view of the lining fabric that you use for the pocket. So that's how that pocket's going to go together. You know, and then to make my fly pieces, just put these aside. Okay, to make the fly pieces, what I'm going to do here is I need to make a fly piece that is the same length as the zipper seam allowance when it's sewn together. So I'm going to just fold this up a 1/2 inch, and I'll line it up with the seam. So my fly is actually going to be pretty long. It's going to be 7 3/4 inch long, which is a super long fly for me. But if you remember, this pattern does not have a separate waistband. So let's just look at these again. what happens with this is the fly pieces get sewn on separately. Let me just make it so it's blown out here so you can see. Okay, so see how the fly piece just gets sewn on and it just buttons all the way up to the very top. Okay, so I think, I'm not sure if I want to do snaps here or not first. Okay, so see the snaps here? So there's two snaps that snap up, and then from there, there's 3 buttons. All right, so that's what that's what the top of the waistband is going to look like. So there's going to actually be buttons up here. Okay, so those are the pieces, and that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. I really appreciate you guys watching me, and part of this is me figuring stuff out, but I want to be like completely transparent with you. I could have fussed with this and got it to fit me perfectly and then showed you what it looked like when it was completely fixed, but I want to show you some of my challenges as I'm working along, because that's what happens when you change the shape of something. I mean, losing the curve on the side seam makes a big difference in how you can fit a pattern. So, like I said, I'm going to be having some pattern testers try this. I think, and based on what I'm playing with just to fit myself, I think I really don't want the vertical darts to be the primary thing that you're going to use to fit the jean. I really want those to be more of a style line, but if you need to take them in a little bit to get rid of a little bit of extra on your back leg or your front leg, they're there. And I also think having the seam at the knee will give you the ability to get that to hang properly as well. So like, let's say you do have a little bit too much fabric between the bottom of your butt and your knee, you could always sew in deeper along that back seam behind your knee to get rid of some of that extra length. I'm working from the top with my crotch because it was wrapping around my butt, and I think it was too long. I think the pattern is too long for my back, from my waist down, down to the hem compared to the front. So that's why I pleated out that 3/4 of an inch on the back and then dropped my crotch curve. So I am going to, PG says, it's very interesting, but I'm not sure I have the patience to do it. I will tell you, pants fitting is challenging, but when I went to South Carolina and I had 20 women in the room, I would say the majority of the women, almost all of them, had a muslin they were happy with by the end of a 2-day fitting process. So, I think part of it is having, the ability to be in the room with who I'm fitting, makes it a much quicker process. Okay, says, I have high hopes for this pattern. I know, Kay. Netwear says, it's helpful to see the process from beginning to end. Thank you. Jamie says, it's interesting to watch and learn what you're thinking when you're doing it. And Kay says, I have high hopes. All right, so I just don't want you to think I'm like fussing or I am fussing around, but part of it is I pick at it from a different angle sometimes, because eventually I'm hoping I can look at any wrinkle and be like, oh, just do this, this, and this, and this. Or if I can combine fitting adjustments and shorten the number of steps it takes to get to the final answer. That's what I'm thinking, all of those things in addition to just working on what I'm working on at the moment. So anyway, so I just I feel like I want to be transparent with you guys, just really share what I'm really doing. I will be working on this and fitting, I'm going to sew this up, and I think I'm going to put the pockets in this one to see how those look, and I will post pictures in our group later over the weekend. But anyway, I'm really excited about this. Just know that the side seams might come back depending on how it works with some of my pattern testers. So, oh, Kay loves fussing with patterns. I know Kay loves fussing with patterns. Kay and I have been fussing quite a bit with her pants pattern. But anyway, so I really want to try to make it a no side seam pattern, but if it's going to be too much of a pain to fit, I don't think I want to sacrifice saying I have a no side seam pattern and then have people have trouble with it. So what I'm really thinking about doing is creating the pattern with no side seam and then including legs with side seams. So you can decide whether or not you want to just put the yoke on a traditional, leg with side seams, or do it with no side seams. Oh, Peachy says, sometimes you do the opposite of what seems logical to me. Yeah, it's pretty, sometimes I do the opposite of what seems logical. The biggest thing is deciding if you need more room inside your garment to sit versus what's wrapping around your body, and getting the balance of that in combination with the vertical length of the front and the vertical length of the back. Those are the two biggest things that I play with, and it is counterintuitive to, let's say, scoop lower to make more room inside, because it seems like it would make it smaller sometimes, but yep. But you know what? Here's the thing. I showed you what I did. I'm going to test it, and then I'm going to show you the results. So stay tuned in our group for pictures of how this comes out now that I fixed it. And like I said, I am going to take the time to put the pockets in this one. And I think for my first pair, because of my shape and because of the fact that the top of my waist is a very similar shape to my tummy and my full hip, I can probably sew up the pattern from here, so this is where the snaps would be on this lower section, and this is where the buttons would be up here. I can probably just sew this together and have it be a faux fly down there and just have the buttons up at the top. Because for me, I can pull them on and off, sewn all the way up to the top. So to make my first pair, I'm not going to fully fashion the fly. I might be able to even just sew all the way up and leave it at that. The other thing is I'm going to put little belt loops up at the top. So anyway, that's my report. I'm going to get off now so I can start sewing. I do want to say that my daughter, who plays volleyball, we're getting to the end of the season now, so my brain is also a volleyball brain, because there's only like 6 more games, and then it's the state champion, or the tournament championship. But in the meantime, my daughter only needs 4 more digs, which is when you get the ball before it hits the ground, to reach 1,000 for her career stats, and she already reached 1,000 kills. So that's very exciting, and the local paper interviewed her, and it was such a nice interview in the Journal-Inquirer that, I don't know, I'm super excited about that. So I have to hurry up and work on this today, because tomorrow she has 2 games, and that will blow my whole day. So I am going to get off. I'm going to keep working on this until it's finished, and I will take good pictures, and I will post them in the group, so you can see what the difference was when I lowered this, and then, I fixed the front, and I added a little bit here. Those are the only changes I made. So I think for the first muslin, I'll sew it up in actual muslin, so it looks the same as the white muslin I showed you at the beginning of the live stream, so we can really compare what's happening. So that's what I'm going to do, and stay tuned for that. And I just want to thank all of you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Oh, such a proud mama. You have no idea. Um, but anyway, yeah, so that's my report. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. And like I said, I will post pictures in here before the end of today in our Facebook group so you can see how this one looks compared to the first one. So I'll take side, front, and back views of this version that I'm going to make now, and I'll put them together with the side, back, and front views of the original one. And that way we can compare. But anyway, so I'm hoping to get this all settled, and then I will take the details like the front pocket and I'll put it on my master that I didn't fuss with to make it into a pattern. So that's my plan. So I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Have a lovely weekend. I have a short list of topics for Fit Tip Tuesdays coming up. I went through and I looked at all of my YouTube questions. Also, I have a very interesting sleeve fitting tutorial I want to share with you guys, because one of my followers actually we were working on getting rid of her diagonal wrinkles, and she did, and it's a very unconventional way to create a straight hanging sleeve. So I think that's what I might be sharing with you on Tuesday. I just want to get her permission to use her photos. So if I get her permission to use her photos, I'm going to be doing that on Tuesday. So anyway, that's my report for now. You guys have a wonderful weekend. I know I think I've said that like 10 times now, but I will see you again for Fit Tip Tuesday, and then Fab Fit Friday will probably be the finale of getting this pattern ready. So I will see you then as well. So I'm going to sign off now, so I stop rambling, but thank you guys for watching, and have a lovely, lovely rest of your day.